Okay,
And
I could maybe.
we are live.
Hmm. Hello. Um, Hi everybody, welcome in. This is Stretch. I'm Google Blitz. Today I'm wearing glasses because clearly 10 times more intelligent than I was last stream, so that's how it's going to go down. Welcome to the Where Questions Lead podcast. Every now and then during this podcast, you will notice that Stretch wears a hoodie that looks sometimes like a dressing gown, as we call it in England. And every now and then I'm going to do this because I feel like it'll make us feel more intelligent. Like if I tell you something right now, and while I'm telling you, I go like this with my glasses, you can clearly see that there was some intelligence behind that sentence I just said. There you go. No, legit, I'm not going to wear these glasses, but like it's hard to get out the personality, what I'm doing now. Right, we're going to have a talk. Stretch is going to tell you about today's subject, and hopefully we'll find out something cool. Like, let's go.
Hopefully. The world is full of wonders, but perhaps nothing is as captivating as the ways animals have adapted to survive, thrive, and even dominate in their environments. From the depths of the ocean to the skies above, animals have evolved extraordinary features and behaviors that can seem almost magical. These adaptations aren't just about survival, they're stories of ingenuity and resilience shaped by millions of years of evolution. Each adaptation, whether bizarre, beautiful, or baffling, tells a tale about the unique challenges these creatures face and the ingenious ways they've overcome them. Think about it, a gecko's sticky feet that defy gravity, the camouflage of an octopus that can disappear before our eyes, or the regeneration of a starfish's lost limb. These abilities often seem like science fiction, but they're a testament to the boundless creativity of nature. So that brings us to the question. What are some of the most fascinating animal adaptations?
Wait.
Oh, you forgot the glasses there.
Very well put. All right, first of all, right, let's start it off. I know you got stuff to say and we've got points to bring up and everything, but let's lay some parameters down, right? Because I don't think it's just animals, bro. Like plants, everything from, you know, I'm going to say Venus flytrap first, but all the way to just the way trees are to fungus. Fungi is one of the most fascinating things in the entire world, I believe.
Sure.
But even just plants and flowers and how they've evolved to use the nature around them to get them to pollinate and all this, that, the other. Like, it's not just animals, but even though animals and complex life is just, yeah, man, it's the one thing we kind of figure out. We kind of figure out how to make life. But it's somehow it's here. It's here. All right, what's your first one?
So the first one I picked, I'm not even going to try and pronounce its Latin name, but it's the. Oh, we're pulling a Holmes there. You
Sorry,
need
I
a pipe.
just getting in the mood for it.
No, you mean the
What's your
character. That's fine.
first one? Is what
The
is your
first
first
one,
one, good sir?
the immortal jellyfish.
Oh,
So
dude.
let's see, Turritopsis dorni. That's my best approximation of its Latin name. But it's biological immortality, right? So unless it gets sick or injured, like it'll live effectively forever. It's a tiny marine creature that reverts to its polyp stage after reaching maturity. This process is called transdifferentiation. Transdifferentiation. It's a lot of syllables. But it involves the jellyfish transforming its cells back to an earlier form, essentially restarting its life cycle. By doing this, it can, effectively avoid aging or prevent aging and avoid death from natural causes. So, just fascinating. I went down the rabbit hole a little bit reading about this, and then of course immediately got distracted by some other thing I saw on Wikipedia. But no, I mean it effectively hits the rewind button and resets itself as a younger version. Like it ages, but that
And
process Go on.
Does it go back to like an as adolescent stage kind of thing? It literally kind of
Pretty
reborn
much.
again.
So I won't pretend to understand the life cycle of jellyfish, immortal or otherwise. Um, but that's my understanding of it. Like the jellyfish will actually turn back its biological clock and live that time again. Like it's remarkable, and there is a lot of interesting research being done because there's this jellyfish, and then there's I think it's a lobster that's also biologically immortal. There's a lot of research being done with these creatures because of this immortality that they have. Looking at trying to find ways to reverse aging in humans. Um, but more interesting than that, and why I really find it fascinating, is they're not just trying to reverse aging. They're using or they're studying these animals to try and understand or to try and generate a cure for cancer because they believe that if we can replicate uh, this process, this biological process, it might lead to breakthroughs in regenerative medicine. There's a lot of fascinating stuff.
All right. So a couple of things that came to mind. I don't know if it's related to the same thing, right? But I know for the first half of the human life, we produce growth hormone. And I know throughout our life we produce growth hormone, but it's not the same once you reach a certain age. It's like, what would happen if? I mean, surely there's something that could be done. Like, why do humans have a lifespan? Why is it set the way it is? Like, why do we stop that? That whole growth, like, I get it, the growth thing. You don't want to be too big or whatever it is, or anything. But why does the regenerating of the cells, which I know, what is it? It's like every 90 days, all of your skin cells are regenerated,
I don't
or
know
something
that
like
one,
that.
but
It's
it
something like that.
sounds,
Like
yeah.
yeah, it's like every 90 days, all of the cells are replaced. Don't quote me on the 90 thing, but like for some reason, when we get to a certain age, there's just certain things about humans that just stop. And if they can do it, like again, why can't we? Why is there not a way for a human? Is a human's too complex, or what is it? Like, why is there not a way for us to regenerate everything within us that is failing? Like there's lizards, geckos that can, or whatever that can replace things. We can't do that. If my finger fell off, my finger's gone forever. You know what I mean? Why does that just stop? Surely there's some sort of thing that our body could produce that would make. It sounds very science fiction, but would make your finger grow back or something. I don't know,
Well,
man. But
it's an interesting conversation to me because this is kind of the crux of this subject, in my opinion. Is when we think about, you mentioned like the lizards that can like lose their tail to escape from predators, right? So they they grow their tails back. I don't know how long it takes, but it's rapidly grown back. And I mentioned the starfish growing back limbs earlier in the narration.
mhm.
Humans just never had a reason to do that, either because the loss of a finger, 15, 20,000 years ago was so significant that you were going to die, or it didn't impact the individual enough to change change the way that our species evolved.
But even if it was just like brain wise, okay, I know I don't say the right words or anything, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Like, look, Alzheimer's, dementia, and things like that. If there was some way for your brain cells to regenerate or something so that it wipes all these off, surely, like, at least our lifespan so much would improve. Like, I think I read somewhere that the number one thing in the world, the problem in first world countries is, it's either Alzheimer's or dementia. One of them. That was the number one thing that costs medically the most money
Well,
in the world.
I'm curious too. Let me see if I can find a graph of Alzheimer's, of like degenerative brain disease over the years.
Well, because our lifespan's been getting longer, like the average life expectancy, so I would expect that to go up as well. Like, I mean, what was the life expectancy like hundreds of years ago? It was like there was a point in a human's existence where the average life expectancy was like 23, which makes no sense to me because we're not finished growing at that age. I know I wasn't. I didn't mature till I was in my 30s. Me,
Well,
I'm very mature now. Very
it's
mature.
interesting too. Like we still have a lot of those characteristics. I did find a. No, that's the wrong graph. That looks like a better graph. We'll talk about it here in a sec. So to me, it seems that if you remove, let me rephrase. If humans are left in a Stone Age environment, I think realistically about 30 years is an old man, right? And there's a
Yeah.
couple of reasons for that, but the biggest reason that stands out to me is that I'm 31. I've stopped growing, right? Like there's no more. My body won't get better than it is. I can go to the gym, I can eat healthy and all that, but like my overall health is I'm old enough now where it's not getting any better. And here in about a decade or so, it's going to start to decline.
Damn.
Like it doesn't make
What's that?
sense. Well, I mean, we've won, right? Like we won the evolutionary arms race as far as, in my opinion, we won. Um, we, there are not very many species that have dominated almost the entire planet in the same way that we have. And interestingly enough, the species that have are not species that we would consider equals. But
Like, can I take a guess at some of them?
go for it. There's a big one I'm
Ants.
thinking. That's the big one. Ants are
Is it?
remarkable to me. Yeah, ants are remarkable. Um, I was watching a David Attenborough documentary a couple weeks ago um, about a type of wood ant. I don't know where he was doing the documentary at. I don't remember, but it was essentially filmed. The entire thing was filmed on a mountain. On one side of the mountain, you had these wood ants that were living in colonies just like normal. They weren't, it was a free for all. So colonies, if they came across ants from another colony, they would kill the ant, so on and so forth, fighting for territory and resources and all that. On the other side of the mountain, they were cooperating. It was a super colony. Like there were dozens, if not hundreds, of queens, millions, if not tens of millions, of ants. Uh, yeah, no, I mean it's. I was just floored by something like that because you have like ants are pretty. I don't want to say traditionally. That's not the right word, but I don't think anyone thinks of ants as cooperating outside of their own colony, right? It's always for clan and kin and not anything else. But it was just fascinating to me.
Yeah. Like, there's some of them that they're just born with a purpose, which kind of blows my mind. Like, there's one of them that's born with a head shaped like just a flat circle, and then the entrance to the colony thing is they just stay there their entire existence, let ants through, then reverse into it so it blocks it like a door. They're literally called a door ant, and and that's just like one part of the colony. There's loads of different ones that are just born for certain purposes. Like, they all assume little roles within the thing, and they all serve a purpose for the greater good. And I've seen many things where there was like this very strange, like a T-shaped object, and there was a gap in this wall, and they give all the humans right, get this through there. It was possible, but they had to work together as a team to lift it and get it through there. It took them a while to work it out, but on a much smaller scale, the video of the ants getting the same thing and they trying to take it back, and the ants figured it out before the humans, and they're all work together. Like, I don't know, it's like ants, and I know we think of them as like individual creatures, but they are just not. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does. Uh, and to twist the conversation even further, we could say the same thing about humans, right? Like we're a collection of cells that has decided to cooperate. Uh,
Hmm.
like that's it. Like
Some of them, some of
some of
them
them,
cooperate. I
sure.
still have to get up and pee like 10 times a night.
Yeah, no, some of them like we're a collection of cells that, for the greater good, has decided to cooperate. Um, and you can go back even further than that when you think about the first single cell organisms, or
Hmm.
pre-signal cell organisms, actually. Excuse me. Um, I mean, they're effectively, it was an amoeba or something similar that allowed some bacteria that used photosynthesis to generate energy to live inside it. Uh, so the amoeba got energy and the bacteria got protection. Like, I mean, if we start to actually break down the complexity of relationships in this context, it is a vast subject, to say the least.
So, what about these jellyfish? Do they do any of that, or is it just as an individual? Like their life can just be infinite in
So,
the right conditions.
as an individual, I would say that they bioregenerate is probably the best term that's not 17 syllables long. Um,
Okay,
yeah, I don't know.
but they don't have a brain, though, do they?
I don't even think they have a nervous system.
That blows my goddamn mind. Like, it's just all a natural impulse. Like, you ever heard the thing that if you cut a head off a chicken, it can still live?
Yeah.
There was a guy. Um, I don't know where. I just heard the story. He cut the head off a chicken, and he would use a little dripper to feed it down its neck, and he kept it alive for a long time. He went round circuses, and people paid it for the freak show so they could come and see this chicken with no head and stuff like that. But then again, that chicken can still walk, and it would still stomp if it felt something that was something in whatever, like natural. How much is just naturally built in for your body to do? Because where's that information stored for your whole body to work together? Because if it's not in your brain, then where is it? Because all those cells are still working together. Your whole body's still working together for that chicken to be able to walk. But again, with the jellyfish and things like that, if it hasn't even got a nervous system, how does it know how to feed? How does it know how to swim or whatever it does? Like, it just happens, but it's as a group.
Well,
What?
so I could talk onto this a little bit, um, but not not too much.
Okay.
So even with us, right? How do we know how to do things? There's an argument that can be said that we really kind of don't,
Hmm.
because everything is action and reaction, right? So when I decide to raise my hand, right, chemical processes happen up here before I even realize they're happening, and then that signal's sent chemically or biochemically or bioelectrochemically down, my spinal cord in my arm and my hand, raise my hand, right? Um,
Hmm.
the same thing could be said for Like we'll stick with jellyfish since that's the animal I brought up. If the cell, like the jellyfish tentacles, right? If the cells are such that when they feel something, when something comes into contact with them, or touches a hair or a filament or whatever, that they retract, then you have like a pulling motion. So now a fish touches it, it gets stuck in the tentacles, and that contraction, which isn't, I wouldn't even call it instinctive. I would just call it a biological process, pulls the food up towards its mouth or its orifice. I don't know if it's a mouth technically. Um, but no, I mean it's crazy stuff. Like it's all chemicals. Like that's all it is. Chemicals. It's making like biological immortality. It's they don't know yet. Obviously, they're still researching it, but probably chemicals.
That makes sense. So there was a movie, Lucy. Have you seen Lucy?
I think so.
All right. So in part of that movie, they're talking to the scientist, and the scientist says some stuff to make him sound clever. He didn't have glasses on, so I don't believe him. But it went something along the lines of, if a cell's environment is not favorable, it will choose to reproduce. If the cell's environment is perfect for it, it will then choose immortality. So I don't know how they've got that information, or whether it's just for the movie or anything like that, or whether it's come from someone or something that I don't know, like some research somewhere. But is that true in any way that you know of?
Not that I am aware. So cellular immortality. Yeah. So I mean, obviously, cells don't think, right? In any way that we would consider it to be thinking. Like
But
when
wait,
we go ahead.
crocodiles grow their entire life. They
Yeah.
technically don't have an end of life. They just have an average time until they die. If that makes sense.
I mean, it does. That part does. I don't think that necessarily means that they're. I don't know. I'd
Well,
have to. All I did,
we're going to have to pull it up.
I just did research into the jellyfish. That was it.
No, you started it. You should know about crocodiles if you're talking about jellyfish. Here we go. Let's Google it.
Let's hear it.
Crocodiles grow forever. Let's Google that. Oh, Google says no. Shut up. You're wrong. Okay.
Oh, there you go.
While they continue to grow throughout their lives, their growth rate slows down as they age. Okay. So it is finite. All right, I was wrong about that. But yeah, they do continue to grow throughout their life, but it slows down the older they get. When they are full of growth, 10,000 every day. That's the largest growth. Gradually discrete. Lifespan of the crocodile is 30 to 40 years. Up to 70 years old. And they can keep growing until 70, but obviously they grow a lot slower the bigger they get.
Sure.
It is possible that some saltwater crocodiles may live for over a century, but that has never been verified in the wild. In captivity, there have been several reports of crocodiles living over 100 years. Okay, well, that's not regenerative or always growing or anything. Okay, there's a tapeworm that regularly that lives in the deep sea that can regenerate every 100 to 200 years. Some may live for over 1,000 years that are alive now.
My goodness.
Glass sponges live for 15,000 years. That is considered the oldest animals on Earth, and by a long shot, scientists estimate they can live for more than 10,000 years, possibly 15,000 years maximum. One glass sponge observed by researchers in the Ross C., a bear of Antarctica, is thought to be the oldest living animal on the planet. I don't know if you want to pull up a picture of this, but
Yeah, let me see if I
I
can.
don't know how. Glass sponges. I don't know how to explain what they look like without saying something rude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like they look interesting. Um,
Again, it hasn't got a brain, hasn't got a nervous system by the looks of it.
yeah,
Might do.
it just filters particles out of the water for 15,000 years.
So, if we're going off the principle that the things without a brain live for longer, I know a few people on this council estate that must be at least 200 years old.
Oh boy.
Okay.
Sponges would
That's a
make an
big old
interesting
crocodile.
conversation too.
Yeah, there's so many different types of life.
Oh yeah. 11,000-year-old sponge. Can grow to be about 10 feet long.
Jesus. I thought it was just a little thing. So I could probably
That's insane.
jump inside that.
Well,
Mm.
not 10 feet wide. 10 feet
Immortal
long.
animals.
It doesn't look like. I mean,
Okay,
there's no frame of reference in that photo, but it only looks to be a couple inches across, maybe at the most.
so there's multiple things, right? Like
Mhm.
the naked mole rat or the
Oh yeah.
bowhead whale is a mammal that has a gene called ERCC1 that repairs damaged DNA, making it be able to live so much longer. Greenland shark can also do the same thing, and it is unknown how long they could live for.
Yeah, I mean there are a lot of animals that have figured out longevity in ways that I don't think humans unfortunately ever will. Um,
The
I
Hydra, that's what we're on now, right?
the what?
Hydra. No, it's not. What was the jellyfish called?
I just called it the immortal jellyfish. I didn't.
Okay, so there's a one called a Hydra. Okay, a study found that these animals do not lose fertility or become more likely to die with age, suggesting they could be immortal in ideal conditions. Now, Hydra jellyfish, is that what we're talking about?
No, this was the immortal
No,
jellyfish, hydro
type
jellyfish.
in Hydra. Yes, it looks again like something inappropriate. I'm noticing a pattern here. No, nah, you're not seeing the same picture as I'm seeing. Maybe it's just my
I'm
picture. Maybe
yeah.
maybe it's just my picture.
What's going on with your
That
search history?
I don't know, but I've got a different picture to you. But yeah, they don't lose fertility with age. Neither do I. Hit me up. No, I'm joking. I'm in a relationship. Sorry.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of crazy things. Um, just a lot of crazy things.
Hmm. Well, I found the jellyfish that you're talking about, and it's got no maximum lifespan. Man.
Which that's
Okay.
just wild. Like I don't think so. Completely off subject, right? But what's a long time to you? Like how long is a long time?
This is kind of the same thing I was going to ask. Like, if you had the choice for immortality, would you do it? I don't think I will. I don't know how long I would want to live for. but I just know that I would not want to live forever.
So let me ask a question before I answer. Are we talking like actual immortality where you cannot die? Or are we talking biological immortality where, you could still be killed? You could
Bio,
still,
biological.
oh yeah, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh, well,
Because
okay,
look,
yeah.
so
You could choose your death then, couldn't you?
yeah, like there's a way out, right? True immortality, like you're never going anywhere, dude. Like we want to talk about a
Heat,
long time.
yeah, heat death of the
Trillions,
universe, and you're just floating in
yeah,
space for the rest of existence.
trillions of years. Like that, humans struggle to understand the concept of, a decade. Uh, we struggle with that. 100 years, we struggle much more just because most people don't live to be 100 years old. We're talking 11,000 years, like the glass sponge, is an inconceivable amount of time, right? And we rewind the clock 11,000 years. I mean, we're bows and arrows again. We're figuring out. We're still learning a tremendous amount about agriculture, right? Um, you fast forward 11,000 years. Who knows what we'll be doing? Like, there's no way to predict. Like, that's after Star Trek happened.
Yeah, there's many situations that you just wouldn't want to be alive for. You just wouldn't want to be. But the biological immortality, I think, yeah, I would take that. I would take that. But does it come with anything else? Like can if a limb fell off, could I regrow that limb? You know what I mean? Because dude, the last thing you want to do, look, if you're alive all that time, an accident is going to happen.
Well,
It
100%. And I
is going
think
to
that's
happen.
kind of the point, right? Like, you'd still be able to die. Which we're moving away from biology now into philosophy, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
you'd still be able to die. And more importantly than that, like your death wouldn't necessarily be by your own hand, right? If you were around too long. Like I know eventually I would probably depart, right? By my own hand if I was there's at some point you've lived too long, right? Um, but even if you were biologically immortal, it's perfectly possible for you to step out into the street tomorrow and get hit by a bus, and that's all she wrote. Um,
That's
to
why
me,
you always wear clean pants.
that's why I always wear clean
Sorry,
pants. That's why I always wear
that's
brown
because you die.
pants.
No, that's not how it works. What's wrong with you?
Uh, uh, that's funny for a couple reasons. Um, but no, I mean, I think the big thing for me is not know. I don't want to know when I'm going to die.
Mm,
Like I don't. I'm perfectly content planning for the future and not knowing. I don't know. That's just me.
mm.
All
All
right,
right.
you're up. Your turn. What's your animal?
I All right. So we're gonna go for the mantis shrimp. Okay. The
Okay.
adaptation of the mantis shrimp delivers a punch with their club-like appendages at speeds of up to 50 miles per hour. Why it's fascinating is these punches can break through crab shells or aquarium glass and are among the. God damn it. Sorry, it's not expanding. Please expand. Okay. No, do you know what? Right. Give me a quick second because apparently, whoever sent this to me just did a really bad job.
I did tell you it was unfinished.
Okay. Um, generating captivation bubbles that create additional force with heat. These punches can break through crab shells or aquarium glass and are among the fastest movements in the animal kingdom. They also have some of the most complex eyes in nature, capable of seeing polarized and ultraviolet light. Damn. Okay. So the mantis shrimp.
Ultraviolet light. So, do they use the? What's the purpose of them snapping their claws together like that? Is that like defense, or is it
It's
just?
just well, it seems to be to get at their food. From what I'm reading here, but I am about to Google it and find out more because we like to be prepared over here on the Where Questions Lead podcast.
It's all right.
Well, half of us do.
I prepared for you.
Hey, I got like 6 million kids, bro. Like, first of all, these things look like an anime character, right? Straight off the bat. Like, damn, that's a lot of color for someone who lives in the dark. Okay. Branches off from other members of the class. A mantis shrimp pack a punch. Pack. It's the strongest punch of any creature in the animal kingdom. Their club-like appendages accelerate faster than a bullet out of a gun, and in just one strike can knock the arm off a crab or break through a snail shell. These small, mighty crustaceans have been known to take an octopus and win. Take on an octopus and win. Damn. It goes so fast when it uses its thing that it boils the water around it and produces a flash of light. Is there any way you can pull up a video of this happening?
I can try. We'll do this though, just in case.
There we go. Natural predators. I clicked on that, and there was a picture of you.
That's kind of rude.
I'm sorry. I had to see the opportunity. Had to take it. Okay. Our mantis shrimp is as hot as the sun. It can generate temperatures of 4,400 degrees Celsius, which is nearly as hot as the sun in the surrounding water.
Oh wow.
God damn. Goodness gracious. It's a superheated bubble. Small flash. For a split second, it goes to 4,400 degrees Celsius. Like, how does that evolve? Where did that come from? Here we go. Here we
You
go.
can't really see
What's
it,
up?
but look how hard he hits it.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's it gonna do?
Just smacks the hell out of it.
Was that it?
That was it. That
Oh,
was
come on, bro.
the other ones
Come
were
on,
like
man.
minutes long. I can skim through them.
Man, I wanted to see some stuff, man. I wanted to see some stuff. Right, let me see if I can find a better video. I wanted to see like a proper. What's up, man? Yeah, I found a video and it was just not as impressive. It built it up like the heat of the sun,
Yeah.
and there was no light flash or anything. And underwater, there's a lot of like resistance there, right?
Yeah, that's part of it too. Like that's one thing I didn't even think about. Like they're doing this underwater, not
Have
an
you tried
area.
throwing a punch underwater?
Yeah, it is incredibly difficult.
Dude, when I was swimming when I was a kid once, and this, let's say, not a friend, was holding my head underwater and would not let me up. Now I just started going bam, 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 like trying to hit his belly, like just so I could get him off my head. Man, I felt like I was doing nothing,
Oh wow. All right,
and
so
it's doing it underwater.
yeah, like so I do have a video. We can't play any audio because there is some
That's fine.
background music. But this is the mantis shrimp is hunting.
Yo,
They
I'm
just
thinking run fast.
smacking the shell, and yeah, he went really fast. Look at that. That
Oh,
hit tore that snail in half.
and you know how strong a snail shell are? You couldn't squeeze it or crack it with your hand.
That's
Oh, that's got to
insane.
be some visual effects right there. That was a visual effect. Come on, man.
I mean, they slowed
That's
it
Adobe
down.
After Effects all up. So was that just slowed down? That's the only thing that was.
I would
That
assume
light
so.
was literally.
I mean,
Damn,
it is
they
National
look so
Geographic, so
friendly.
they're usually pretty legit. Yeah, that's insane.
Okay.
So hunting. There was another
But
video.
how does that evolve, though? How? Like, surely there's a process. You don't just build up to being that strong or that good at that thing, right? Like, how does that? It's like it's the only thing I'm related to is a flick. Like,
Well, I think that's
it
kind
didn't,
of
it
what it
didn't,
is, right? Like we were talking about ants earlier, right? There's the ant with the jaws that lock out.
mhm.
What is that one called?
Scary.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't want to get bit by them. Trap jaw ants. Okay. Uh, so trap jaw ants, essentially, their jaws
Jaw
are spring loaded, right? And there are hairs on the front of their mouth. When something touches those hairs, those jaws snap shut. Um, so it's all tension. I'm curious, and I would expect that the mantis shrimp does or uses similar mechanics to because they're one of the things it said in
Okay.
the video was that the mantis shrimp like that hit is 60 times faster than a human blink, which is ridiculous.
I'm sitting here blinking, trying to get a feel for it. Ancho, it opens 180 degrees and it shuts at 60 meters per second,
Which is
140 miles
insane.
an hour. Damn.
That's insane.
The whole action takes place 2,300 times faster than the blink of an eye. And they have a venomous sting as well. Okay, why does this thing need to be this dangerous? Like, if this was the size of like a dog, we're all screwed.
Well, fortunately, there's not enough oxygen in the atmosphere.
God, dude, I'd hate
I'm
even
happy with
looking at
that.
the pictures of those things. Those are some scary looking creatures, man.
What, the trap giants? You know we have to look at
Yeah, I
them now.
just damn, bro, that's I just don't like bugs, man. I just don't like bugs. Just to see that is just so the reason that I'm scared of ants, right? And I wouldn't say I'm scared as in like if I see one, I'm not screaming and running away. But can you remember the movie Honey, I Shrunk the Kids?
Yeah.
And there's a part of that where like they're in the grass and the giant ants are coming out and they're got like all hair on them and stuff, and I'm just like, nah, no, that's just a. But all of these have a role in each of the things as well, so it's not just like, yeah, this is what's going to get you. There's also like a million other things going to happen.
For sure.
All right, I'm clicking off the ants. Thank God.
All done with them.
All right,
Ready for the
your
next one?
turn.
My turn?
Go ahead.
The archerfish. This is another one of my favorites. So they are remarkable predators, right? They hunt insects above the water by shooting water jets at their prey. Uh, their mouths have evolved in a certain way, and instinctively able to account for things like distance, and they instinctively understand things like light refraction, light hitting the water. Uh, so they're incredibly accurate. One thing I couldn't really find was how consistent, what their fall off was, their accuracy fall off was. One of the interesting things about this too is this particular adaptation allows them to expand their food options beyond just what's in or on the water. They can go to what's above the water. But yeah, one of the things too that has been documented is these fish have learned better techniques and become more accurate as they get older. So these fish are learning how to do this better.
Archer fish. Can we see a picture of them?
Yeah, of course.
It's perfect here.
Oh, yeah, it's a
I
pretty
found a
looking
video.
fish. But there we go. I need to tweak my screen viewer here.
Damn, I just watched a video. It took a fly out of the sky mid-flight and dropped to the floor, dropped in the water, and it ate it. Do you know how hard it is to hit a fly? You ever tried whacking a fly out?
Yeah, with a fly swatter, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to hit them, even with a fly swatter.
Here's a shorter.
That must mean first of all, its eyesight must be so good as well.
It has to. Look at that. That's.
Show the stream. Show
Yeah,
the stream.
sorry, I have to watch a bit of the video just to make sure it's not anything too crazy. Yeah, so this looks to be like an aquarium, right? And the keeper is putting bugs on the glass. Watch how quickly this fish. So she puts the bug or the snail there, and immediately.
Damn. That thing got sniped.
Yeah. Look at that.
Douche, douche. This is the first time I've ever heard of this. That's amazing.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I'd heard of them before I started doing research for this episode, but I don't think I'd ever actually seen a video of them doing the thing. See that one
damn.
jump up?
That one had enough. Like, no one else is getting this.
No, that's insane. That's crazy.
You always kind of assume that they can't see right out of the water, right?
Well, it's because I don't think most fish understand refraction. And the archerfish does.
Yeah.
That's insane. But yeah, I mean, it's a remarkable species for a couple of different reasons. Like that's one of them.
How many fish is just going to jump out of the water to get its prey? Like, just fish? Like,
Yeah.
I think that's a little bit remarkable as well.
Well, yeah. Fish are cool, man.
No, they're not.
Fish are friends, and sometimes
slimy and oh no, I don't want to hold a fish. I don't care if you've got an aquarium. You're making that fish live its whole life in a little tank just because you want to keep it in your front room next to your TV and set the atmosphere for your room. Like no, let it live in the wild where it does cool things and has a cool life and tries to find Dory. Like, listen, no. No. This is what you need. You need to train one of these fish to just spit at its owner just every now and then. Every time someone walks past, just. But to be able to hit a fly out of the sky, hit a fly that's flying past
and
is insane.
and to understand the concept of trial and error. Like, we can't forget that
Mhm.
part of the equation too. I mean, it's not quite like getting injured, right? Like, because that's a clear feedback that you've made a mistake. Um, they understand when they miss. They understand why they missed, and they adjust so they don't miss next time.
Okay, so there is a type of crow, right? They put the whatever like the water in a bottle. It couldn't reach, so it gets a stone. It puts it in the bottle. It makes the water level go up, and then it can drink. Right, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's amazing! Look how clever they are." I feel like this fish is already doing something 10 times more fascinating than that, because this fish has figured out that it can squirt this water, and like if this was going to evolve,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, the amount of misses and the amount of mistrials, but even figure out that this is what they could do, like how. Yeah, I think this is even a lot better than that. Like,
Yeah, it's remarkable. And one of the things too that I think we as humans struggle with is recognizing the brilliance of other animal species. Because again, and I'm just as guilty of this as everyone else, but we are quick to assume that we're better. And when I actually think about why, I don't know why. I mean, the reality is evolution is an ongoing process. Humans are evolving just as every other animal on this planet is evolving. Um,
mhm.
what makes us better than the archerfish? I can't do that. I can't squirt water out of my mouth and hit a bug.
Oh yeah, watch me. Okay, and I'm glad you said Mal. So yeah, yeah, I can. But also, we don't need to. We can make something that will do that for us. That's our amazement of evolution is we can solve problems and make things to make things like that happen. That's why I believe humans are the most fascinating of all, even though there is super fascinating things in this world. But
I don't
yeah,
know that I would agree that we're the most fascinating.
yeah, I'm going to stand firm on that one. I'm going to stand firm on that one, like completely and utterly. Like the man has been to the moon, and we have made penicillin or antibiotics or like all of this. We've made the Burj Khalifa or and all that stuff. We've done all of this. I mean, at the same time, Wendy from down the street keeps on parking her car in front of my goddamn driveway, even though she's clearly got one of her own. So like, there's clever and there's dumb. You know what I mean? But yeah, there's definitely a lot in nature that I don't claim to understand how it evolved that way.
Well, need. I mean, in my opinion, recognizing that I'm not an anthropologist or a biologist, in my opinion, the reason
Yeah.
that humans are as intelligent as we are is because we weren't strong or fast. Everything that was a danger to us, for as far as our particular species has been around, has been faster than us and stronger than us. Like, if we want to talk about running away from predators, you know, in Africa 100,000 years ago, they were all stronger and faster than us. Uh, so the only way we survived was by being able to think, problem solving skills, right? That was it. Uh, and then there are other things as well. I mean, we're one of the few species that sleep on our backs. So we
Are
see,
we?
yeah, not very many species do. It's uncommon. So I would imagine that there's an element of curiosity that was developed over time as a result of that, just looking up and seeing the sky, seeing things above you. I don't know. I do agree that we're fascinating. That is for sure. But I do. It's need. Like we had a need to change, or our species would have died out. And fortunately, we did. That way, we can be here having this conversation today.
But yes, but so we're talking about different types of evolution. Like I'm just spitballing here, right? Like so evolution. Let's say you've heard the thing like the animal keeps reaching up for the tree to get the leaves, you know what I mean? And the one with the longest neck always gets the most leaves. They reproduce. The next one's necks are a slightly little bit longer, and so on, so on. And then next thing you know, you've got a giraffe, you know. But what you're talking about is a need to change, rather than just a evolution. The way evolution works, like strong to survive. You know,
I don't. I don't think that
is
I'm
that a
talking.
different thing?
I don't think I'm talking about something different. I mean,
Well, humans
let's
don't
let's.
need to change physically right now. We don't need to.
Well, we don't know that.
Like,
I mean, humans. I read something. I haven't fact checked this, but I read something the other day that humans are getting shorter again. Right. So one of the things too is
if you say that I'm only 5'8" right now, I swear to God.
now one of the things too is there's an element of arrogance to say that we understand why certain changes came about, particularly as they're actively coming about. Like what the changes we see in the human body today. I mean, again, we want to talk about recent human history, the past 100 years.
I have returned.
Much. I'm live.
You're live.
I am. Coming as a girl. Good night, my son.
Why are you lying?
Have you evolved recently?
Why?
Maybe you should.
What do you mean evolve?
I don't know. Like, do you have a need to evolve?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to monkey.
Okay. Well,
I think I need to go back instead of go forward.
okay.
What are you talking about?
Evolution.
Actually, yeah, that makes sense.
I really need to go.
Alright,
Good night. I love you. Sleep well. Sorry.
No, you're good. But if we just look at the past 100 years or so, I mean, humans got taller, right?
Yeah, they did.
We don't know why.
Just keep-
Like we know why, right? Like height is considered an attractive trait in men. Taller men had more chances to breed.
Yeah.
Taller men had more chances to breed. Like we understand that. What we don't understand is why. Why is height considered attractive? Why is that
Because
a trait?
listen up. If we were Vikings and there's loads of short people in the village, I'm going to invade that village and there's nothing these short ass people can do about it because I'm much more likely to win. And then, so therefore, I'm the one that's going to produce the babies. That's what I think.
Well, then the follow-up question: how do we, again, assuming that humans are actually getting shorter again? Assuming, I still haven't double-checked that. Why are we getting shorter again? Why is that changing? Why is the average height
Because we
going
don't.
up?
Because there's no need to invade the village anymore. It's all about how much money you earn and how much this, that, the other. There's none of that anymore. There's none of that. The strong can survive and everything. It's literally everyone can survive. All you got to do is go to the doctors. That's it. You're good.
Well,
yeah, everyone has
yeah.
a constant food supply. You can just go to the shops, get what you want, or all this, that, the other. Anyone can find a job. Well, in some countries, people can find a job. There's no need to be the biggest, to be the strongest. There's no need to even fight, really, in no, I'm not saying all countries. I know there's still parts of the world that need to sort itself out. Looking at you, Canada. So the I know, but there's no need. There's no need anymore. What need is there for that? There's, like I was telling my son. Okay, was a kid at school. Like he was doing great in his exams. He's top of his class and everything. But the most popular person was always the big, hard, the big, strong guy who can beat everyone up. Like, and it's like, you don't need to do that. That dude's always going to be a loser. You know what I mean? But hey, he's popular while he's at school and he can be a douche. But you don't need to do that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, my son's not the biggest in the world. He's not the strongest in the world. But what is an advantage to him is his education and how well he's doing there. And hopefully that's going to be a good advantage with his social skills and things like that in the future. And for all of that, hey, man, some of the most popular people in the world are short as hell. I mean, look, we're on Twitch right now. Most of the big streamers on Twitch are short people. Look at Kai Cenat. He's really short. And look at you on your stream. What are you, like 5'2"? There's no need at all for it anymore. So that's why people's getting shorter, because no one's invading the village and the big guys winning the fight.
So I don't know that I necessarily agree to that, because I would bet that if you polled women, at least in the U.S., I can't speak for
I have
the UK.
Polled women, yes.
I would be willing to bet that height is a priority for them in a partner.
It is.
Over other things, right?
But
so it's still part of the selection process.
Nah. Hey, listen up, right? Anyone, if you're listening and you're a lady and you think that height is a necessity for your relationship, okay, first of all, right, that then you can't get upset if a dude says, hey, I'm not into fat chicks or something like that. You can't get upset over that at all. I don't think so. I think the people taking the poll, like everyone, look, naturally, because it's still built in, you're going to want the biggest, the strongest, and all this. I think that's going to change. Okay, the nerds are taking over because they're the ones that's going to be able to provide a lot better. Okay, and eventually it's naturally going to be built into humans to be attracted to either the more intelligent people or the people that are more likely to earn the right amount of money and things. Because all that attracted to the biggest people, the tallest people, and all that, that's all relates back to the whole thing we're talking about, taking over the village and all this thing. Or it might be something about like a father thing and whatever. But like, no, I don't think that's going to last. I think the whole attraction to tall people and things, I think that's going to phase out. And no. Did you get what I'm saying?
No, I do understand, and I'm inclined to agree with you.
Oh my God!
Not
Whoa!
not for the reasons that.
Don't speak anymore. This is the first time you've ever agreed with me with something. I just let me soak in the moment. I'm putting the glasses back on. I'm intelligent now. Let's go. All right, Stretch. Go ahead, my friend. To explain to the people why we are right.
So I'm inclined to agree with you, but not for the reason that you
Of
brought
course.
up.
Of course.
We can talk about. You mentioned body weight and as an unattractive thing. If you go back a couple thousand years, not
That wasn't my
necessarily.
opinion. It was just an
No,
example.
I get it. Not necessarily being
Yes.
obese, but being overweight was considered attractive, right? It makes
Yes,
sense.
because
It
only
meant,
rich people could be fat.
yeah. So it makes sense.
Okay.
Similarly, today, I mean, you eventually you'll visit the U.S. You'll come visit us here in the U.S. Where like 2/3 of our population is overweight, right? So you don't have to be wealthy to be fat in the U.S. But what does stand out is going to the gym and getting in good shape and that type of thing. So I do think it's it's a display of excess, not necessarily success, of excess that people find attractive.
I
as
don't
far
think
as
that's related. Sorry, go ahead. But
yeah, as far as height, I mean, yes, genetics are a factor, but so is upbringing, right? Like if you eat a nutritionally balanced diet as a kid, right, you're going to be taller. You compare a kid who eats a healthy diet versus a kid who's malnourished. I mean, so I do think that those are the really big factors as far as physical attraction and between humans. What were you going to say?
Yeah. Again, that the nurture rather than nature, I think that will rule overall. Eventually, you end up making someone who's intelligent, knows how to make money, stick to a job, do this sort of life out and everything. That is the ones that eventually will be attracted to. At the minute, it's still women's attracted to the biggest guy in the village. You know what I mean? But now I'm not
So,
saying this as a short person. Okay, if I was a short person saying like, "Hey, you're not going to think I'm 6'3", okay, that's not the tallest in the world. I think Stretch is taller than me, right? But I'm definitely above average, right? So I'm not saying like a short person, I'm jealous. Oh, forget about all the tall people. It's not going to work. I'm just saying my opinion is that doesn't matter anymore. That is
so,
not the way forward.
so I have a
Right, go
follow-up
ahead.
question then. So we're talking about, essentially, we'll just stick with the example, right, of what women are attracted to in men, right? The biggest, baddest guy in the village now, right?
Hmm.
If we're
That's
if
me.
we're naturally, uh, you're talking about a change in what traits women prioritize. Wouldn't that just be taking the label of biggest and baddest and applying it to a different category of people?
Yes.
And in that case,
Yes.
wouldn't it remain an evolutionary mechanism?
You trying to trick me into saying that I was wrong about what I originally said here. I
No,
see
I
what's
don't.
going on.
I know. I don't
I
think
see
that
what.
I don't think that you're wrong. I just think it's important that we frame it correctly. I mean,
Okay. So I don't know if that's a change in evolution, but rather a change in nature. If you get what I'm saying.
so to me, they're one and the same.
Well, no. Just because a giraffe's eaten from this tree for all of centuries, and now all of a sudden it prefers this tree over here, does not make it still an evolution of a giraffe. It just likes that tree now, and it's learned behavior that this tree is where the better food is.
Okay, so you're talking about adaptation versus evolution.
Okay, you're better at wording things than I am, but that sounds a lot more like what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, no, so I agree with that completely. It, for the context of this conversation, just so we're clear, evolution is the macro, right? The grand scheme of things. I would say that
Hmm.
adaptation is on an individual basis. Like we adapt throughout our lives. The giraffe adapts when it finds, tastier leaves on a different tree, that type of thing, right?
Okay,
Uh,
so
Go ahead.
sorry, I keep talking over you, bro. I don't
No, you're
mean
good.
you.
I just wanted to make sure we had definitions clear for viewers.
I know you like to be all organized and set. Now here we go. You put a cucumber next to a cat without it knowing. What's the cat going to do?
So I tried that with
Yeah,
my cats. They don't do anything.
they do. Yeah, I tried it with mine. Mine did nothing. But I see videos of cats just like in thingy, and that's I believe I might be wrong, but that's because snakes and things like that. And I know for a fine fact, and 99% of the cats on these YouTube videos where you see them jumping have never seen a snake, but they'll still jump when they see something that represents that. And I think that is learned behavior, right? I mean, it might be why the cat evolved to jump so high or jump so fast or reaction times and things like that. But that's learned behavior. So if we, for example, had a different shape be dangerous to the cat, a different shape, like I don't know, right? But a different shape, and then throughout generations, the cats you made them scared of this particular shape. This shape was going to do something bad to them every time. Would the cat then naturally be afraid of that shape the same as it is the cucumber, like the snake? Is that learned behavior or is that evolution?
I suppose it would, and it would be a combination. In
Yeah,
my opinion,
hey, perfect timing as well. Ask the cat; he's right beside you.
Elena,
Sorry.
do you like snakes? She didn't answer.
Damn,
No,
I was
I
hoping for an
suppose
interview.
I think it would be a combination of the two, honestly, because at some point, at what point does instinct? Yeah, at what point does adaptation become instinct? Right. If I started teaching my
Ooh,
cats to be afraid of, I don't know. I've got a whiteboard.
birds.
If I started teaching my cats to be afraid of this whiteboard or this marker, right now,
Mm-hmm.
the two oldest are fixed. The youngest is getting fixed soon, so none of them are reproducing, right? So maybe that's not the best example, but if I bred cats and I taught the first generation to be afraid of whiteboards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Kittens learn from their mothers, so mom teaches baby to be afraid of whiteboards. At what point does adaptation become instinct? And where's the
Well,
line of evolution in that process?
yeah, because how many generations before none of those cats, even the mother who's teaching the little one, or right, have never seen a whiteboard, but also how many generations before they're just naturally afraid of that, even if the mother hasn't taught them that. Like you can get a cat from birth, take it away from its mother, and it will still be afraid of the cucumber shape. You know, so how many generations before it is built in? Is that what you're saying? What's the
Yeah,
line
pretty
between
much.
you?
Because if it's just one generation and you take the kitten away from mom, like the kitten's not going to be afraid of the whiteboard, right? At some point, I mean, it's no different than humans. Like we have that exact same thing, that exact same mechanism in us. It's, in my opinion, suppressed. But have you ever gone to like a shop or a store or something and it's got that uneasy feeling that says it's time to go? Um, to me, that's what that is. That, our
Mm,
bodies recognize a set of circumstances that we've either, experienced, or that we have a collection of experience similar to in the past, or I mean, even with predators, like you didn't have to tell me when I first saw a tiger, right? You didn't have to tell me that I shouldn't mess with that animal. Uh, I knew. Like, so I don't think that. Hey, speaking of animals, come here, clawing on things he shouldn't
good.
be.
Oh, I've never seen that one before.
Yep, he's the
That was
baby.
a cute one.
He's the baby.
Oh,
He has one testicle.
thanks for telling us that. Now you're going to embarrass them on camera, on stream. You could have just let him say hi to the chat and everything. Now you got all his business out there and everyone knowing, poor thing.
Yeah, only half of his business is out there.
Okay.
All right, we can move on. I believe it's your turn, bud.
No. I did the last one.
No,
I
I
tried to
did the
get away
last one
with it.
because I,
No, I
I
didn't.
talked
I
about
know.
archer
I was trying to
fish.
get away with it. The lyrebird. I can't pronounce this properly. Okay. Vocal mimicry. Male lyrebirds, I can't pronounce it, can mimic nearly any sound, including chainsaws, car alarms, and other bird calls, as part of their courtship display. Their vocal mimicry is so precise that it can fool humans and predators, highlighting extraordinary control over their vocal appendages. This adaptation also helps male lyrebirds stand out during mating rituals, making it a tool for sexual selection. Okay. Well, that's what it is. But okay, so let's Google this, because the first thing that comes to mind is, have they got lips? Because how does something make any noise? Yet when we talk, we have to move our lips nonstop. Let's have a look.
Different vocal cords. So how do you
Yeah,
how do you
dude,
pronounce
it's
it
got
again?
a big Lyre
I mean, I'm seeing
bird.
how you pronounce it.
Lyrebird.
I would say that's right. A lyrebird.
Okay. Agreed with
Makes
me
sense.
twice this stream.
You better clip that or something.
Clip that, motherfucker. I'm gonna get a tattoo. Oh, swore. Sorry for swearing. All right. Can we hear an example, or maybe on the stream, of just some sort of? Oh, there's David Attenborough straight away. Oh my God, what a life he must have lived. David Attenborough. I'm looking at my screen. Dude. He must. I think he's got to have top 10 best lives that anyone's ever lived.
Oh, 100%. So I don't have the audio set up for this stream, so we can't do the audio. But we can't stream the audio, but we can listen to it and then talk about it. Here, you pick a video. Send me a video, and we watch the same one.
This is the one I got up.
Okay. Let's check it out.
Skip to about 40 seconds. Goodness. Oh man, if you go to like 1 minute 19,
A minute 19.
it's doing every sound in the jungle. It's making sounds of the monkeys now.
That is remarkable.
Oh, dude, just go to 2 minutes and press play. Just go to 2 minutes.
Imitating camera shutters and everything.
And the phone? He did the like someone's phone must have went off and he imitated it. Yeah, camera shutters. Damn, did you hear that? Oh my God, it did the little printout as well. Yo, that was exactly like it. Like, exactly. Oh, I'm on the car alarm now, yeah.
Yeah, keep watching. Wait till you get to the Forester part. That's crazy.
No way was that the bird. Was that the bird? They're doing the chainsaw there.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's insane.
it did the sawing of the wood and everything.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. First, being able to like memorize exactly the sound and reproduce it,
Mhm.
like
Yeah. So
Jesus.
definitely worth looking up. Yeah. No, that's insane, dude.
I'm going to put the link for in the chat right now, in case anyone's watching this back and would like to would like to check it out. If you go to the VOD on Twitch, the link will be there at this time in the thing. 1 minute 20 in. No, I'm not. That's the wrong link. Never mind. I'll copy that and put it again.
Oh, did you just post the search?
Yeah, I posted the wrong thing. There's the link there. At 1 minute 21 minutes in.
That's insane.
Dude. So I can see loads of ways that would be advantageous to be able to do that in the jungle. Okay. Like you could scare off almost any predator just with a sound. You really could. You just do whatever is big enough to eat that. You know?
Yeah, but I mean, based on the Attenborough clip and based on what you were saying, it sounds like it's predominantly just a
Yeah, it's a
display.
maiden thing.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait until next time I'm with the missus. I'm just gonna
Just go
start making the noise
making
of a fire
chainsaw
alarm.
noises.
Here we go, chainsaw noises and everything. Is this is what does it for you, babes? Vroom, 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 vroom. Like,
Of course,
damn,
if it works, you're gonna have to do it again next time too.
it's gonna be weird, but I'm prepared. Okay, I'll do what it takes.
That's crazy.
Oh, okay. There is officially a lyrebird out there that has David Attenborough's accent.
That's as he
It
should.
started imitating him,
As he
and
should.
now there's a bird. Hey,
That's insane.
bro. Like, what is attractive about that, though? That's what I want to ask the females. I want to be like, hey, what was it that got you? Like, was it when he was coughing, or was it the fire alarm? What we're talking? Like, what's attractive about this? Different animals found weird things attractive.
Yeah, I mean, weird to us. Sure.
Well, we find weird things attractive, but that's a whole different TV show.
Yeah, not this one.
Not this one. No, I just meant like in China they're like small feet or the backs of the necks they find attractive and things like that. But like the new thing is like big butts, but I don't know how. Like, I mean, I like it, but I don't know why.
I'm sure there's a
Moving on.
sociological component as well. But yeah, we can move on. I'll
But
go to the next
don't
one.
get me out of this hole right now, please.
Keep you out of trouble.
Thank you.
All right. So my next one is the Mexican cavefish, which is also one of my
The
favorite ones.
Mexican cavefish.
So Mexican
Ooh.
cavefish living in total darkness have evolved to lose their eyes and pigmentation. In the absence of light, their eyes became unnecessary, and the energy required to maintain them was redirected towards other survival traits such as heightened sensory organs for detecting vibrations and changes in water pressure. This adaptation showcases evolution favoring efficiency over retaining unused features, providing an excellent example of regressive evolution, which this is the first regressive evolutionary trait that we've discussed so far today. So let me see. Let me pull up a picture. If I can spell that right.
Is it regressive? Because it's literally not necessary. If they live in the dark the whole time, why would they need eyes?
Well, no, I agree
There
with
is.
you. It's regressive because they had it and now they don't. See, look at this.
Yeah. So at some point they must have lived outside of the cave, right?
Yeah, something happened. There was a flood, and enough fish got washed in there to have a stable population. Yeah, look at that.
Okay.
Like, he legit
So
got no
how
eyes.
long is nothing? Lost the pigment and everything. The body stopped putting effort into things that it didn't need to put effort into. Now
Yeah.
these things still live in a school. They live in groups.
Gotcha.
They're very peaceful, but as they age, they can become more aggressive and start nipping other fish if they mistake them for food.
That's just rude.
But they evolved to silence, so they still have the genes to make the eyes, but for some reason they also developed a new one which silences those genes so it no longer makes them. Damn. I guess they just
It's a
the
crazy
body
one.
stopped putting effort into what it needed, what it didn't need.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what happened, right? I mean, it's pitch black in these caves, so eyes are unnecessary, and the energy being expended to maintain them, because it does take energy, just wasn't worth the effort. So it was redirected towards other survival mechanisms like, metabolism, heightened senses, that type of thing. It makes complete sense thinking about it. Like, if you were building this fish and it was going to be living in pitch black, so there's no light, you wouldn't give it eyes. Like, that makes complete sense to me.
Mhm. They
It's
sleep for
just
2 hours a day in sleep homeostasis. So basically, they will be still swimming around, eating, doing exactly the same as they would normally do, but technically they're asleep. Which, what? Imagine being able to just do your work while you're asleep.
that'd be pretty great. Just go around on autopilot.
But as we've seen in Rick and Morty, that can actually turn out really bad. Nighttime me does not like daytime me.
That's insane. I mean, I didn't have too much to talk about for this one, but
No, it's
just
still a fascinating evolution.
yeah, I mean, it's a good example
I
of
like.
extreme
Mhm.
environments.
So it's taken 160,000 years for them to evolve like that, which is no time in the world. But if this species was now always in the light, do you think that would regress again, and eventually those eyes would come back because they still have the gene for it? If it was for thousands of years in the light.
It might. So looking at the photo I have pulled up now, you can kind of see that it still there's a dark spot where the eye would be.
Still has some in the end.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if the eye was completely, eliminated. Well, it wasn't completely eliminated because it's just that genetic code's repressed. But I wonder if they still retain some ability to detect brightness, because that's pretty. Like, if you think about a lot of the fish and animals that live at the very bottom of the ocean, right? Uh, which they're weird to begin with, but their eyes are quite good at perceiving variations in light, because there's virtually none down there. So I wonder if these fish have retained that ability.
Well, judging off how they ended up like that, I would assume that if they spent 160,000 years in the light, it would come back.
Yeah, I would imagine
Which
so,
is
but you never know.
crazy how evolution works.
Oh yeah.
All right, what's the next one you got over there, Stretch?
Oh, we're skipping yours.
That was mine.
This one was mine. Nice try, bud.
Maybe. All right, let me hit you with another thing. I know something, right?
All right, let's go.
So there was a study done. It was in London somewhere. That I think it was at the Royal University of London, whatever. Anyway, so they give this group of people. Made them all live together. They weren't allowed to leave the flat, whatever, and they had to wear these glasses. And all these glasses did was flip everything upside down. And so everything was upside down. They're all banging into things. They're all knocking into things. But after a couple of days, one by one, they all started waking up and their vision was corrected. Okay? But when they take their glasses off, everything's upside down with the glasses off. Now, how they ended up correcting that was by leaving the glasses off. And again, after a couple of days, they woke up, their vision was corrected. And that's just a very short, small example of what we're talking about with this fish. If human brains can do that and put things the right way around, evolution can do it on a much grander scale like this and maybe give this fish its size. All I'm saying is light up the caves, okay? Aliens are real, light up the caves.
All right. So it took us an hour and 34 minutes to get to aliens.
I couldn't stop holding it in, man. I'm not taking it anymore.
So-
I'm sick of people suppressing the aliens. They're out there.
Suppressing the aliens. So
Suppressing.
I don't think that I think we're talking about two different things here, because
We are.
well, yeah. No, but like our brains, for one, our eyes see things upside down anyway.
Yeah.
So we're I don't remember if we're necessarily
Yes.
seeing things upside down now.
But our brain flips it,
Yeah,
the
our brain
image, right?
processes it properly, right? However, that's just processing, right? That's just our brains doing processing. I don't think that's not an evolutionary process for me. You know, putting on glasses for a couple days so that
It's
upside down
not.
glass.
It's the way the brain works, right?
Yeah, so
That's
that I
what I'm
would
trying to
call
show an example of.
yeah, that I would call an adaptation. That's an
But isn't
adaptation.
evolution just a much bigger, grander version of adaptation?
In some ways,
As you can see,
I would
my
imagine.
my hand gesture means bigger. As you can see, there you go. Thank you. You get it now. He understands now.
I would imagine that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. I am curious to know what would have happened if they kept the glasses on longer. Like it wouldn't have done anything to their offspring, right? Because as far as the orientation of the image that we see, that's entirely dependent on our brains, right? Like our eyes are incredibly complicated, but at the end of the day, they're just there to transmit the image to the brain, right? Our brains actually compute the raw data and allow us to see. In the same way that I can take a photo of something or flip my face, my camera here upside down, that's really all that's happening.
Mhm.
Just internal to our brains versus, but
Hmm.
oh, you got fireworks.
That was in your brain. I don't know what you're talking about. All right,
Although
sweet. So next, yeah. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I was gonna say it did happen in my brain. Happened in yours too,
Technically.
and in all of our viewers.
Hmm.
All right, go ahead, bud. On to the next one.
All right, so the next one, I'm not going to bring up an animal. I'm just going to bring up a thing, an evolutionary trait, or however we are calling it. Now, all I need is to find my actual page. So venom. Okay, I find venom fascinating. Like even so much as in plants and animals. Just how does the body grow to put something in another animal and know eventually it will die, kind of thing, yet it stores it in its body? Like, I find venom has evolved in animals through millions of years of natural selection as the result of convergent evolution. Independent evolution. Venom has evolved independently in over 100 animal lineages. Okay, so that doesn't tell me how many animals. That just says there's loads of different. Venom is a widespread convergent function in the animal kingdom. Well, let me skip through this. All right, this everything from corals, jellyfish, worms, mollusks, centipedes, like spiders, like this is just animals. This is not even talking about plants. I think the fact venom is a thing. Like, yeah, I get it. You can bite things and attack things and everything, but to your body to evolve to put something in to another body and know that it's going to harm that animal is surely that's not a conscious process. So how did venom come about?
Well,
How
it
would
brings
the
up.
evolution?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, you got it. You got where I'm going.
I was going to say it brings up an interesting question. Like this becomes a chicken or the egg question, right? Which came first, the venom or the drive to bite and kill, or to kill with a bite, right? Like we talk about snakes, for example, right? We have venomous and non-venomous snakes. Venomous snakes will bite their prey and then allow their venom to work. Non-venomous snakes will bite their prey and then constrict, right, preventing them from breathing. Um, to your point, it's a very curious thing. I'm very interested to know when that leap happened. What sparked that change? Because it's a
All right.
huge leap.
So I'm going to put this in chat because I believe you'll be able to say it better than me.
Uh-oh.
And explain. Don't worry, it's nothing. I could easily read it out, but when you say things, it's a little bit better understandable.
Venom glands are thought to have evolved from ancestral salivary glands, but Perry and colleagues show that this also required the evolution of new regulatory sequences and the repurposing of existing regulatory systems to control the precise expression of these dangerous genes. Yeah, I mean, that makes complete sense.
Glad
Saliva.
it does to you.
Well, think about it,
Okay,
right? So let's talk about Komodo dragons, right? Which these are interesting. These are interesting animals, but let's see if I can find a picture of one drooling.
yeah, but I get it. You're going to bite and you're going to be doing saliva, but then how did the body know with the evolution to make that venom? Well, like, did it happen? The one with the worst breath got the most kills, and slowly over generations, the breath got worse and worse, and next thing you know, the venom, saliva's killing. Like, actually, that might be what it is. The ones with the worst saliva give people gave the most infections, and then that just evolved and got worse and worse. Holy shit! I figured it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had, again, talking about snakes. One snake had a genetic defect that caused its saliva to be toxic in one way or another to the prey that it was eating or it was attacking, right? Um, it reproduced, had offspring. We'll say half of the offspring, snake laid clutches of like a dozen eggs at times. We'll say 6 of the offspring had the same trait. And it just progressed like that over, the course of hundreds of thousands or millions of years. Um, And it just so happened that that particular mutation was an evolutionary boon versus an evolutionary disadvantage. So it proliferated on a scale that, you know, you really couldn't predict beforehand because it's effective. But I brought Komodo dragons up because if I recall correctly, they're not venomous, but they're, well, they've got nasty bites because that's just a big, you know, big
So
jaw to be bitten with. But uh, their saliva
this
is
is
filled with bacteria.
oh
So they're not venomous per se, but if you get bit, you could very well get incredibly sick.
infection.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it may have started something as simple as that, just, you know, a chemical in the saliva versus bacteria living in the mouth.
Okay. The name of the animal I've just put in the chat is the earliest known venomous mammal. The earliest known.
The earliest known venomous mammal, which is interesting because there are not a lot of venomous mammals.
Let's say this. It's a pre-mammalian reptile. Oh, so it's pre-mammal.
Like a proto-mammal.
Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
I mean, I still wouldn't want to come across one of these things.
No, no, definitely not. They don't look friendly even without the.
Don't pet the dog.
Don't pet the dog.
No, that was a good. Bringing up venom was a good idea.
So what about plants though? Because like the plants then, okay, I get it. Well, I guess the plants would work kind of the same way, but like, how did it know that worked better? Like I guess maybe hell, this one wasn't so good for the animals got used to the plants that made them feel bad, so they stayed away from them. So they evolved into the similar things, and that spread, and eventually plants became venomous, or with stings, or whatever. I guess it would be kind of the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would. I think it would be effectively the same thing. I mean, if you had a bush with a particular genetic mutation that made it toxic to animals that ate its leaves, the leaves were toxic, right? Animals slowly over time learn to not eat this plant, so this plant survives longer. It's able to reproduce more, so that genetic line is carried on. I mean, it's a remarkable process. And
Most toxic plant.
most toxic plant?
No, watch, wait, I've got it. World's most dangerous plant. No, I've got it. I'm going to say these words, right? But I'm just talking about a plant, and it's the name of it, and I know the thing. Suicide plant. So there is actually a plant. There is a plant. Here we go. The suicide plant. It has a type of sting, right? It's the most dangerous plant in the world to humans, right? Decarine moralides neurorides. Whatever. It's basically called the suicide plant. It when it stings you, you end up getting like overwhelming feelings of death and needing to end your own life, and it literally makes you want to kill yourself. If you want to Google this, don't worry. If you just Google suicide plant, nothing bad will come up. In the first search that I've done, there's literally nothing there. But humans cannot handle this plant. You cannot touch it. You have to be fully hazmat suit up and everything before you go near it. And so how did that evolve then? Because that is a horrible type of. I don't know if that's classed as venom, but damn.
So we're framing this from a human perspective, but the first question that I would ask is what was preying upon that plant, right? Like a good example, in the U.S., I don't know if you can anymore, but you used to be able to get birdseed with capsaicin on it, which is, the spicy, like when you eat hot pepper, like that feeling is caused by capsaicin, right? The reason they put capsaicin on it is because birds don't care. They'll eat it anyway, but squirrels won't, because squirrels, they'll eat some of the seed. It's incredibly hot. They don't like it, so they'll leave the seed alone. Because hot peppers it's the exact same thing, right? It's the spiciness of a hot pepper is a defense mechanism. We just have a bunch of crazy people who like to eat the plant that doesn't want to be eaten, that's actively trying to not be eaten. And it just so happens that I would imagine that this particular plant is potent to humans. That doesn't necessarily mean that humans or our predecessors were the predators in this case.
Same as how catnip works for cats, but not us, kind of thing. Okay.
Just different.
Some crazy types of venoms out there.
Yeah, I mean, just within like snakes. I mean, there are some scary ones.
Mm-hmm. All right, and do you have any more you would like to bring up?
Let me take a look. I had two more, I think. We'll see if we only got about 10 minutes left, so we'll see if these are. Or I can go over
search history, because of you, my search history is very interesting.
Because of me.
I'm blaming you.
So here's what I think we should do, since we are running low on time. I'll read through my last two quickly, and then if you want to say your last two, that way we get all of them out there. All right, so the next one that I've got is Elysia chlorotica, which is the Latin name of a particular type of sea slug that has the genetic trait of kleptoplasty, right? So what it does is it incorporates chloroplasts from the algae it eats into its own cells. So once those chloroplasts are integrated into its cells, it can photosynthesize, which it's a solar powered slug is what it is, which is remarkable, right?
What the hell?
I would love to go if we have. I would love to go into detail about this one, but we'll try and get the rest of these out. It's a remarkable thing.
Go for it.
Definitely worth looking up. My last one is exploding ants. Right. So these ants.
What? Sorry, what?
Exploding ants. So there are ants in Southeast Asia. When their colony is attacked, these ants will protect themselves by rupturing certain abdominal glands that release a sticky and toxic substance that immobilizes or kills predators. So they don't like detonate, but they burst essentially their abdomens. So it's another example of extreme adaptation. But I mean, saving the colony at the cost of one or two ants is really a low price for the ants.
Again, ants working together. Things are born. They just know what to do. Ants is weird.
It's crazy. All right, what are your last two?
Always something. All right, I'm bringing this up. Right, it's just a basic thing, but it's the easiest example that we see. Dogs, man. Look at what humans have done with dogs. Look. Like all the different, you got fashionable dogs in that now, man. Everyone's got a style. Everyone likes this one. Every single one of them is bred by man and made into this, that, the other, and everything. I think it's fascinating that
100%.
humans have taken a wild animal such as a wolf or whatever and brought them in and we've basically done our own. We've played God with the evolution of a dog, and now you can get so many different types that have so many different traits and look completely different to each other, like a poodle versus a chihuahua, you know what I mean, or a Great Dane and a bull mastiff. Like there's so many different things, and it's just in a very short time, considering the length of the world. This has happened by humans doing this. That's
So one of the things that's crazy to me is we all recognize dogs as dogs, right? Um, but try and imagine not knowing what a dog is, and then you're shown two dogs, a Great Dane and a Chihuahua. Like we wouldn't even recognize them as the same species.
yeah, at all,
Like,
and yet they can breed.
yeah,
Which
yeah.
that that that's yeah, it wouldn't. I mean, that combination would be a real messed up thing to see. Surely that couldn't happen. I'm googling it again.
You're blaming your search history on me.
Great Dane crossed with a Chihuahua. Dog that is crossbreed with a Chihuahua is a very small dog. Great Dane is a very large dog. While technically it's possible to breed them, due to significant size difference, it is not considered good practice and can lead to health combinations for the mother dog. Well, I would hope it was the other way around. Why were they imagining the Great Dane doing the Chihuahua?
All right, let's
And
move on. Let's move on before this becomes too inappropriate.
I wasn't trying to go thingy. I
I
was
know.
saying it would make it.
I know, bud.
That is not a picture that I want on my search history. I am leaving this page. Google, you are messed up.
You searched it.
People's done this. People's done this. Okay. I can't see anything of what it would result in there. I was kind of hoping for like the cutest big dog ever, but like, never mind.
All right. What's your last one?
I don't have a last one.
You don't.
I don't have a last one. No, but I got a list here that a good friend of mine, a very short dude, sent me a list. Sea otters. They can use tools. Sea otters use other stones to crack open hard-shelled prey like clams and sea urchins. They are one of the few non-primates known to use tools, demonstrating problem-solving skills and advanced behavior. There we go. Sea otters have a pouch under their forearms where they store the tools and food, making them rare example of animals that uses storage alongside tools under their forearms. Dude, they literally have evolved to have a tool belt. That's what it is. I mean, I get it using tools. I can understand how that works. Like same as a seagull cracking open an egg or something, flies. It knows if it drops it, then it thingy. But to evolve to have a place where they can store these stones while they do something else, how did that come about?
I don't know.
Hmm.
Asking the wrong dude.
That's the last. No. I'm telling you to move on. Sort yourself out, young man. Here we go. Right, hey, thanks for the thought process and you doing well. Good stream.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to your thousands of fans out there?
Thousands of fans. Yeah, we can talk about we got the YouTube channel up, the Spotify up, and the Facebook up. So all three of those links should be down in the description of the Twitch channel or the About section. So check them out.
If anyone wants to come and chat to us some other time where we interact with chat as well, we do stream other things like games and things like that. I'm sure if you jump into the Where Questions Lead Discord, which we have an official Discord, there's actually just us in there at the minute. So you will have our full divided attention the whole time you're there. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to bring up that we can discuss and all that, like you will have our full attention. Jump on in. Thank you so much. And thank you, Stretch.
Yep. See y'all next week.